Looking at my backdrop, I doubt it'll take a rocket scientist to say what tangent I'm going to go on next. As you can imagine, we are going to be singing a few songs from The King and I. Back in 2005, my Alma Mater was celebrating its sesquicentennial year. And the principal at the time was Mrs. Beulah Raju. She had taught me music or singing and home economics. She was also a dear family friend. And so she told my mother, who at the time was still a teacher of English in middle school at Calcutta Girls High School, that they would be doing The King and I. While my mother is an absolutely brilliant teacher, she did not think that it was her calling to go dancing around a stage and directing a play, so she drafted me in. I was teaching at Modern High at the time, and it was an interesting day, handling teaching all day and coming and dancing around in the auditorium after school in the afternoon, and many evenings as well. But I have to say that we had a wonderful time. I have this plaque to commemorate that wonderful experience, and there you are, the two of you, Mrinalini as Anna and Debaleena as the king, Mongkut. It was, as I said, a wonderful experience. I have to say, every single student involved put in 100%. Every teacher involved, every support staff involved gave it their very best. And I think we were able to achieve something that was very special. I know I was rather difficult. I was a very hard task mistress, and I threw quite a number of tantrums during those practice sessions, but in the end, all the students worked alongside me, and I think they forgave me for my bad moods. And we did have a wonderful time. Every single parent involved as well. You know, you all had to give up a lot of your afternoons waiting for your daughters while they sang and danced and pranced around in the auditorium. And all the teachers, I remember the teachers serving us lunch many an afternoon. It took a lot of time and effort, but it was so worth it. Now, The King and I was based on a movie that hit the theatres in 1956. It was a 20th Century Fox production, but it was also based on a 1951 Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, also called The King and I. The musical, in turn, was based on the 1944 novel Anna and the King of Siam by Margaret Landon. And the novel, in turn, was based on memoirs written by Anna Leon Owens herself. She was a young widow who had been drafted in to teach the children of King Mongkut of Siam in the early 1860s. Of course, Anna did a wonderful job with the children, but I think her relationship with the king was what was so special. She became a friend, a confidant, and I think, to be honest, they were definitely in love as well, though they could not admit it. Now, Leon Owens, and this is something I didn't know, was in Singapore when she was drafted in to be governess and teacher to the children. She was quite different to look at, and her explanation of why she was so dark-skinned was because she was in Singapore and possibly the sun had tanned her. But the actual fact of the matter was, and it was only revealed after her death and after King and I became such a hit, and that was she was actually an Anglo-Indian. She wasn't full British, and that's why the darker skin. But of course, what was more important is that she made such an impact on the king and his heir as well. Now, when we produced The King and I, at one stage, I think it was almost an insurmountable challenge, you know, trying to direct over 200 girls. We had a cast and crew, lighting, camera, props, costumes. It was huge. And like I said, every teacher, every student involved, everyone involved did such a wonderful job. And I wouldn't mind reading an extract from my director's note from this book. I'm trying to hide my face. But I did say that And that was my last paragraph. So the curtain closes and the arch lights dim, the music stops, and we come to the end of our presentation. But for those who have been connected with The King and I, the memories will live on for a lifetime. As a director, I enjoyed whistling a happy tune with the children and saying hello to these young lovers of drama and dance. Often I would end up saying in frustration, "Is a puzzlement." Yet I enjoyed getting to know my young actresses. That experience was indeed something wonderful, and as such, with sheer joy, I would smile at the children and ask, "Shall we dance?" The production is over, but I shall not forget any of these dear children, for I, Rosanna, can truly say with the female protagonist Anna, "It's a very ancient saying, but a true and honest thought, that when you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. As a teacher I've been learning, do forgive me if I boast, and I've now become an expert on the subject I like most, getting to know you." And so, dear children, never forget all the wonderful things we learned together these past months. Good luck with your studies and keep the CGHS banner flying high. God bless you all. And I was Rosanna Rao at that stage, and I was the batch of 1998. So some wonderful memories there. So let's sing a few songs from The King and I. I know, Mrinalini, you've been trying to get me to sing these songs, and I kept saying, "Girl, you should be singing it because you were Anna. You were just perfect in the role." But I will honor your request, and I do hope you will sing and whistle a happy tune along with me. Let's do this first song together. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune so no one will suspect I'm afraid. While shivering in my shoes, I strike a careless pose and whistle a happy tune, and no one ever knows I'm afraid. The result of this deception is very strange to tell, for when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well. I whistle a happy tune, and every single time the happiness in the tune convinces me that I'm not afraid. Make believe you're brave, and the trick will take you far. You may be as brave as you make believe you are. You may be as brave as you make believe you are. I think that is a very good idea, Mother. A very good idea. It is a good idea, isn't it? You know, I don't think I shall ever be afraid again. Good. While shivering in my shoes, I strike a careless pose and whistle a happy tune, and no one ever knows I'm afraid. The result of this deception is very strange to tell, for when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well. I whistle a happy tune, and every single time the happiness in the tune convinces me that I'm not afraid. Make believe you're brave, and the truth will take you far. You may be as brave as you make believe you are. You may be as brave as you make believe you are. Well, I'm singing that song, I think, after 15 years. Come 29th and 30th November, Mrinalini, Debaleena, and the rest of you It makes 15 years since we did this, and I'm so honoured to have been called to be a part of it. I hope you'll sing some more songs from The King and I. Take care, and God bless.